Okay, hi everybody. You're on weekend service, and you find that there's something to be done with meat, and you want to know what's the right thing to do, and this video is here to help you do that, so that you do the right thing, not the wrong thing. So first up, let's say for example you have to go buy meat on the weekend, or pick something up that's meant to be picked up, or if you receive a delivery. It's really, really important for you to know, do I put this in the cool room or do I put it in the freezer? If you assume you know and you get it wrong, think of all the trouble you cause for someone else. So just make sure if you're picking up meat or if you're receiving meat that gets delivered while you're on weekend service, say on a Saturday, then just make sure you know, does it stay in the cool room or does it go into the freezer? And don't assume just because it comes frozen it should go into the freezer, and don't assume that just because it comes raw it should stay in the cool room. Anyways, so that's just an aside. Now the most common thing that's going to happen on a weekend service is you're going to be asked to take some meat out of the freezer and put it to thaw in the cool room for Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. Now, in the freezer, the stack that you saw out here in the cool room used to be stacked right here in the freezer. Now we brought it all out this morning, and I'm going to show you how you put it so that it is thawed. Now let me show you the two most common things that we have that get delivered frozen these days. And you know, this might change as time goes on, but you have over here a Wing Hong 2 times 7.5 kilogram chicken breast. And you also have what's called a CBO, or a collar butt out, which is a pork product. Now you can see over here, I hope this is not giving you vertigo, that they've actually got 21.4 written on the side of it. That means this is 21.4 kilos of pork in this one. And what we've brought out is they're about 20 kilos. We brought 3 of them, which is going to be about 60 kilos. But as you'll see, as we shift them around, we got 21.4, we got 21.0, and we got 19.6. So not quite, you know, it's a little over 60, and that doesn't matter. We do rough estimates, but of course these 1, 2, 3, 4 chickens, that's going to be exactly 60 kilos, which is exactly what we're looking for. So now, as you open up one of these things, you find inside it a bag of chicken inside a bigger bag. So this one bag, and sometimes as they're frozen together, sometimes what you're going to notice is that these 2 bags are frozen together and they're hard to separate. But if you jimmy them around, you find that you can separate the 2 frozen bricks, and you're going to get them out, which is hard to do. See, I thought I'd be clever and do this. Daniel, can you hold this and videotape me doing?
Just a question. I've got a stubborn bunch of chicken, a bag of chickens. Can I put them under semi-hot water just to loosen them?
What I do is I get a big pot and put it in and run. Because we're going to put it straight in the oven, yeah, you can do a little warmer. If we weren't going to put it in the oven straight away, you just do it cold water to keep it safe. But yeah, you could put it under hot water in a pot in a sink, and that'll be fine.
You want this back?
Yep, thank you. Thanks,
Okay,
Daniel.
that's all I needed.
Okay, so what we've got here is now these 2 trays, and you want to keep the bags, the lids of the bags sort of inward, and you want to keep them in the bags because that sort of protects them from stuff falling on them. And you want to make sure that you're on this side of things, the meat thawing shelves. The key thing to remember is that nothing should be underneath raw meat except for more raw meat. That keeps dangerous things from dripping. If you do spill a little chicken blood, like somebody has done this morning, then the main thing you want to do is get in here with a mop and mop it up. You see how the floor comes up a bit? That's what happens when you have a really wet mop and it seeps into the board underneath. Now we're just going to have to screw that down eventually like we've done here, but in the meantime, just don't use too much water when you're mopping. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a second and take us on to the next one, which is how the pork looks when it comes out of the box. Okay, now here is how the CBO comes, and of course the chicken comes with this blue plastic string on. So what you want to do is you want to cut through these plastic things pretty carefully and get rid of them after. And you get into this box and you find there's 5 or 6, or when it's a funny day, sometimes just like 3 and they're massive, of these pork collar butts, collar butt out. And this is the pork shoulder without the solid chunk of muscle that serves as a pork roast so often. So what we're going to do is we're going to fit 3 or 4 of these, or 2 if they're absurdly massive, into one tray. And that's going to thaw like that. And it's going to take a couple days of thawing, which is why if you're on weekend service and you've got this job to do, you really want to get it thawing in the morning, because the more hours it's thawing, the easier it's going to be for the poor suckers who have to cut the meat the next day. So now we'll just keep going here, and then just getting these trays out. And again, raw meat not being over anything except other raw meat is really important for protecting. And you notice how these are in plastic bags and I'm leaving them in the plastic bags? Again, that's just to protect the pork from having any other stuff dropping on it. And as best as you can, just generally trying to leave stuff a little bit covered. We take it out of the initial plastic bag it's in, mainly just to give it more airflow and to the plastic so that it thaws, but we want to have it as exposed as possible, but not actually exposed. And that is a key thing for health and safety for everybody, but also making sure it thaws, which is makes it possible for people to work and for you to eat. Now, because the world just won't leave me alone, we can't show you the end product just yet in this video because I don't feel like having my recording on pause for that long, and it'll take time for this space to get cleared. So I'll give you a little heads up. Roughly, this 20 kilo thing is going to take 1.5 trays. So since I've got 3, that means we'll have 5 trays of pork, or 4.5 trays, but that's going to be 5 trays. Now, one of these things of chicken, obviously each takes 2. No, that's not this chicken. This chicken is what you want. A box of chicken obviously takes 2 trays because you get 2 slabs out of it. So that means when you've got 4 boxes of chicken like we've got today, you'll need 8 trays. Now, if you look at this bench space and you say how many fit across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can't fit anything there. So if we take the 5 trays we'll need for the pork and the 8 trays that we'll need for the chicken, you realize that you'll need 13 trays. So that's 5 to a row. That's 1 row here, 1 row there. And then what you could do is you could get a black crate down there that's clean and have a tray of meat on there thawing. Or you could clear space up here and put your trays on this shelf up here for the last 3 trays. Either or, you just make sure that things are organized sensibly and safely so that raw meat is not going to drip on anything that isn't already raw meat. So you may need to shuffle things and organize things the way they ought to be. Good luck with that and hope for the best. But you guys can do it. It will be the rare occasion, the very rare occasion that you need to thaw more than 1 meal. We try to avoid that for this very reason, to make sure you have enough shelf space to work. And if it's not the case, hopefully we'll let you know. But just call me, call Sala, call whoever's in charge of the kitchen, and we will get this working in a way that serves everyone. So enjoy your weekend service, and God bless you.